So Himanshu Seth has been working with Adobe for 7 years now. I've known him for a very long time, and he's an engineer. He did his electronics and communication, but then he wanted to get into a different area. That's not the area which he was interested in. So after doing his BTech in electronics and communication, he did his master's in design, right, in human computer interface from IIT Guwahati, and then he has come into design full time. So he worked with a company called Persistent Systems, and then he has been working with Adobe ever since. So it's been there for 7 years now. And what he is working, Adobe, all of you already know, Adobe has many different applications. So Photoshop, uh, the Acrobat PDF Reader, Illustrator are only three of the applications. There are many other applications that Adobe has. Right? And I don't know if all of you know this, but Shantanu Narayan, who has been the CEO of Adobe for a very long time. He was, this is before Satya Nadella and Sundar Pichai all came in. I believe Shantanu and Satya Nadella are both from Hyderabad. They went to the same school, so they are very good friends, right? The CEO of Adobe and Microsoft, and Adobe has been it's a very old company, but then it also went through its ups and downs. And many years back, they decided to do something called the CC, which is the Creative Cloud. I remember I was an MBA student when I heard this in the news. This must be around 2009, 2010, 10 years back. What Adobe said was that usually we sell the software, which is very expensive. So if you're selling Photoshop or Illustrator, you sell it for 25,000, 30,000, 35,000. And what they did was they said that we are moving everything to the cloud. So we want to be cloud first. And remember, this is a time when the cloud was there, but it was not as cheap or as popular as it is today. And there was a lot of backlash. A lot of people criticized Shantanu for taking that decision because they said that you're going to fail. Adobe is such a large brand and you're taking such a big decision of moving it to the cloud. But the rest is history. Adobe was super successful, and Adobe today is doing over $11 billion in revenue, right? So it's doing extremely well. They have different products, and I'm just going to quickly open the website because some of you might not be aware of all the different products that they have, right? So Adobe is meant for marketing, designing, for artists, for photographers. And if you look at the type of softwares that they have, you can see that some of these you would recognize, like the Acrobat Reader, Photoshop, Premiere Pro is for video editing, Illustrator is for creating logos and designs. Then you have InDesign, which is for print. Then you have After Effects, which is for cinematic effects. Then you have Lightroom. Lightroom is similar to Photoshop, but not for editing. It's just for collecting photos. And like this, there are many other things that Adobe has. Right? For example, Audition is only meant for audio. So if you're a radio host or if you're running a podcast, then Audition is a software that does all these things. Okay, now, so we had a conversation yesterday, and it is already there on YouTube, so you can all go and have a look at that on my channel. And we had a wonderful chat about a lot of things in terms of what should B school students be preparing, how important is design, how should you learn design, how important. Remember, I told you it is very important to look at colors. Listen to Himanshu. Himanshu is the expert when he's designing software and client products for Adobe. He's the right person who will tell you what sort of impact these things will have, right? So I would really urge all of you to go through this. It's not very long. It's 42 minutes, and there are no fillers. So it's a conversation from start to end, and I'm very confident that you will find a lot of things that you might find useful and interesting, right? Related to your MBA. My podcast, like I have said earlier, is completely around business school students. So that's who my audience is. So I'm not really concerned about other people. If somebody wants to listen, that's okay. But the people I speak to and the questions I ask them is all related to business school students. How should you prepare during your MBA? How should you decide the specialization? How should you pick the right job, right? And I have spoken to the CHRO of Metropolis Healthcare. I've spoken to Suparna, who's a media veteran. She's worked with BBC, with Business World. She runs her own event now called Sabera. So she does a social and responsibility business awards. So Abhidip works in technology. He works in automation with Sterlite Power, which is a part of Vedanta. Rohit, I've already mentioned, is the global learning and development head of DXC. So the idea is that uh, there are different types of people, right? And everybody has different experiences. So it's not that it's the same thing over and over again. And I'm not doing a lot of talking in these conversations. It is these guys to whom I'm asking questions, and they are the ones who are sharing their experiences. And I always end my interview by asking them what are the inputs that you would like to give to business school students, and then they give whatever inputs comes to their mind, right? So this is something I think all of you will benefit from, before your college curriculum starts next month. Okay. And Himanshu's wife works with Microsoft. So he was also telling me some very interesting things about what Microsoft is working on. It's all top secret, so I can't share a lot with you. But Microsoft is working on some feature. They might decide not to do it, but anyway, their idea is that if somebody is sending you an email, it will automatically generate a report using that email. That means it will see the attachment, it will see if there are any images, it will identify all the important keywords from the images, and it will generate a report for you. So you don't have to read an email like an email, you know. See, I get like hundreds of emails per day, and it's extremely irritating. Some of them are important, some of them are not. It's very irritating to go through all of them. And that's the point. How can you improve that process for people? Nobody likes reading emails, let's be honest, right? So yeah, I mean, this is something I thought I'll share with you. Right? Any questions or any observations? Anybody? Anything you would like to ask before we start with Tableau? Did you get a chance to go through Excel and Power BI? Many people called me over the weekend. Some people texted me. So I know that a lot of you have been working. And that is good because practice is very, very important. And practicing yourself is very important. I can teach you for 5 months as well, but unless you do it yourself, you will not understand it well. Right? So any questions, any observations, anything you would like to tell me before we start? Okay. Now for the finance session, which I had told you I will confirm to you, for the finance session that will happen this week, it's a one day session, 2 hours. It's a combined batch, just an overview of different things in finance. I have spoken to Sanjay, and Sanjay, I mean, I'm not sure if he'll be available during the week or not, but if not, then the session will happen on Saturday. I think I've already mentioned him earlier, but I'll quickly tell you what his background is. So Sanjay worked for he's an engineer, right? Um, so he did his BTech electronics communication. After that, he worked for a few years. He was working with a listed company called Bhima Siemens. His father was one of the directors, and he worked there in a variety of different roles. And after he did that, he did his MBA from Tapni. He's a gold medalist from Tapni. He also did his internship with me for 4 months, and now he's working with Hitachi ABB. So it's a joint venture between Hitachi from Japan and ABB, and it's a power grid company. So they build power grids, transmission lines, substations, like that. He joined them on contract 3 months back in the month of May for a 1 year contract, right? In a data analyst role. And he has done such a wonderful job that in 2 months they have offered him a full-time role, right? And his experience comes from finance. So he's an MBA in finance, and he has done wonderful projects in finance. If I can just quickly show you, for all of you who are interested in finance or operations, he's the guy for you, right? So if you look at this type of projects he has created, look at this. His views on LinkedIn, he has received more than 7 lakh views on his post. He's very active on LinkedIn. And look at the type of projects that he has created. Loan amortization, discounted cash flow simulation, bond immunization. Let me just open one of them for you, anyone. This is not just a text. He has actually given the entire explanation. He has shown you how he has created the entire model, right? Should you take a specialization in finance? Is it something which is your cup of tea, or maybe not? Like I also took finance as a minor in during my MBA, but I never liked it much. Now it's very hard to say why, but I just did not. A lot of people said that I would be very good at finance because I'm a numbers guy. I like working with data. I like working with Excel, but it did not interest me, right? But he will be able to tell you that what are the different areas that are there in finance, right? From financial planning analysis to hedge fund to investment banking. And moreover, he'll also be able to tell you how to create a portfolio so that when you guys are applying for a role after 1 year, when you're setting for placements, you need to have something like this. As you can see, all his projects are there on the website, right? And Sanjay is what? He has about 5 years of experience, which is not a lot, right? Of course, he's older to you and he has more experience than you. But then it's fantastic, the type of work that he has done. And by the way, his entire website he has designed himself. He did not know how to do it. So he figured it out. He learned it. He went online. He learned how to do coding. He learned how to go to Google Sites. His first draft of the website was very simple. But then over the last few months, he has kept on updating it. And just look how beautiful this looks right now. Okay. So I will confirm to you maybe by today or tomorrow. If he is not able to come on a Wednesday, then we'll get this on Saturday. Right? But I'll tell you beforehand. I think you will benefit a lot from having him. All right, great. So what are we doing today? We are working on Tableau. And before I open the file, by the way, we're working on the same file, right? Which I had shared with you in week 2, which was this global superstore data. That is the reason I have not sent you a new file, because we have the same file that we're working on. Global Superstore Orders 2016, right? On which we created the Power BI dashboard. I hope all of you have downloaded Tableau. Any trouble while doing that? Anyone? Please let me know. All good? Okay. Now, which version of Tableau have all of you downloaded? Tableau Public or the Tableau Desktop Student License?
Sir, desktop.
Desktop? Okay. But how were you able to download desktop? I believe you had to upload some document, right?
Sir, public.
Okay. We downloaded public.
Okay, all right. Is that, I'm sorry, I think I heard somebody said desktop. Can you confirm if you meant desktop or did you mean public?
Sir, public.
Public, okay. All right, now let me explain what is the difference between Tableau Public and Tableau Desktop. Power BI is completely free of cost, because whether you are working as an individual or as a student or somebody is working in the corporate, Power BI is Power BI. There is no difference. So what we worked on, which is Power BI Desktop, there is only one version of Power BI, right? But when it comes to Tableau, there are two things available. There is something called Tableau Public and there is something called Tableau Desktop. What is the difference? Tableau Desktop is the paid version. So that's the one I'll be working on. So I'm working on Tableau here, which is the professional edition. How expensive is this? This is about 60,000 rupees for 1 year. So about 5,000 rupees per month. So it's very costly, right? But the other option they have is Tableau Public, which offers you 90% of the features in Tableau Desktop. But there is one very big difference. And the difference is that in Tableau Public, you cannot save your work on your computer. you can only save your work on the cloud. And can somebody tell me why is that a problem? How does it matter whether I'm saving my file on my computer or I'm saving it on the cloud? Anyone?
No direct access to the data.
Sir, there is only limited space available in online, sir.
Absolutely. One very important point is space is limited, even though actually in the case of, that's a very good point, but in the case of Tableau, space is not a constraint. The big issue, everybody, is that if you save your work on the cloud, your data will also become public. That means that anybody in the world can see your data. And is that a good thing? Obviously not. See, if you're working with a public data, like a government website, COVID data, like we did last week, it doesn't matter because that data is already public. But if I'm working with a company, can I put my company data on the internet just like that? Of course I cannot. That is sacrosanct, right? That is confidential data. That is the difference between public and desktop. But all of you are students. You will not be working on confidential data, correct? For example, this file that we are working on, which is global superstore orders, this is a public data. It is a freely available data. It is not for one company which I have taken from some company. It is public. This means that if you work on Tableau public, you will not have any issues whatsoever. So remember, if somebody asks you what is the difference between public and desktop, you tell them that 90% of the features are the same. But the one big difference, there are many small differences, but the one big difference is that in Tableau Public, you cannot save your files on your computer. Like in the case of Power BI, remember we saved our PBIX file on my computer. You can't do that in the case of Tableau Public. You can only save it on the cloud. Right? I hope that's clear, everyone. But Tableau also offers desktop student license. So what you will need to do is, if you want to get a 1-year access to Tableau Desktop, the complete version, what you can do is you can basically go to the website, right? And you can get Tableau for free. But to do this, so you will get a 1-year license to Tableau, the complete version for free. And to do this, you will simply have to send them some proof of you being a student. Now, I'm not sure what proof they accept, maybe your ID card or maybe a joining letter with the institute, something like that, right? So some confirmation has to be given. And this gets approved within 1 day. And once it gets approved, you get a 1-year license to Tableau. I hope this is clear as well. Right? Even though, honestly, if you ask me, it is not necessary, right? Because Tableau Public will perform all the tasks. I mean, there are very small differences, but the moment you get something from the institute, I don't think they accept the joining letter. I think you need to have a student ID or a mark sheet, something like that. So maybe after your first, you can try uploading, you can try confirming this and see if it works or not. But yeah, you'll have to check that. Okay. Great. So this is out of the way. What about Tableau and Power BI? Are they same? Are they similar? Are they competitors? They're absolutely competitors. For most clients, there is a choice. Should they go with Tableau or should they go with Power BI? Now, it's very hard to explain what are the factors involved. There are many factors involved. Cost is a big factor. The ability to learn is a different factor because Power BI is much more simple to learn because it is a Microsoft product. Did all of you not tell me that it is simpler to learn? Now, Tableau is even simpler to learn than Power BI in a way, but it is different to Microsoft. So if your organization is already working on Excel, Word, Outlook, PowerPoint, it is easier for them to start learning Power BI because it is a Microsoft product. Right? But otherwise, they are competitors. We don't know who has a bigger market share, but Power BI is growing faster. But Tableau is very old. Tableau has been around for 19 years. It started in 2003. Right? Great. I think enough talk. We will discuss more as the session goes on. But I think for now, let's open Tableau, please, everyone. In fact, let me see if maybe I can also work on public, because that way what will happen is that there will be absolutely no differences between what we are working on, right? Because I don't want that I'm doing something and you tell me, so we don't have this feature or that feature, right? Just take 30 seconds.
So you said that both are competitors. So if as a student we want to learn only one software,
See, as a
it should be
student,
prep.
yeah, so as a student, hands down, you have to learn Power BI, right? Power BI is the more popular tool, especially in India. That is what organizations are using. Many companies are shifting from Power BI to from Tableau to Power BI, and there are many reasons for why that shift is happening. There is, I mean, I don't even have to think about it. For all of you, Power BI is the number one tool to learn, right? If you have learned Power BI and if you have extra time, you should learn Tableau. See, Tableau is useful. It's a very useful tool, but will it really help you get that job and will you use it in organizations? It depends. There are very few organizations in India, at least, that are working on Tableau, right? So I don't want you to learn something which will not be used. And Power BI, like I said, is a must. Like we say, Excel is mandatory. Learning Power BI is mandatory. There's no choice there, right? That I'm giving you.
Thanks.
All right, so we have the public edition, and yeah, I think this is a good idea. Let me not work on Tableau desktop because I want parity to be there between what you are doing and what I'm doing. Okay, let's see. So is Tableau open? Perfect. All of you, I hope you have opened Tableau. Right? I'm also, so basically what I've done is I have opened Tableau public like you. So there's absolutely no difference between our interfaces, right? Right. Okay. So you can see that we want to connect to a file which is very similar to Power BI. The interface is a little different, but the process will remain more or less the same. So this is my file, Global Superstore Orders 2016. I hope all of you have this file ready with you. This was the file I sent to you in week 2, where we had worked on Power BI for the first 3 days, right? Once again, let's quickly recap what is the data that we have with us. So we are working on a very large data, which has about 50,000 records in it. We have the order date, shipping date, customer name, city, state, country, region, market, category, subcategory, segment. Then we have the sales quantity, profit, and discount. So I think by now all of us remember exactly what is there in the data. We spent a lot of time on this. Let us now create some visualizations on Tableau, right? So click on Excel on the top left corner and select the Excel file that I've given to you. So for me, it is on my desktop, work in progress. Then I have SRCC, final, send to batch, files, week 2, and then I have batch 1, and then I have Global Superstore Orders 2016, this one. Right, all of you just make sure to select the correct file. So Global Superstore Orders 2016. Once you connect to the Excel file, it will take a few seconds. The first time that you're loading the file, depending on the size of the file, it takes a few seconds, right? but that is only the first time. Once it is loaded, Tableau is very fast, but only the first time it might take some time, right? And you can see the data here. Now see, there are many small things available. I have something called connect more data. I have data interpreter, right? I have a new union. I have a filter on the top right corner, right? So the interface is different. Can somebody tell me what is new union? Have you done this in Power BI? Yes or no? Something like this?
So basically it connect two Excel files.
Connect in what way? Does it merge it or does it append it? Try to remember the Saturday training. Are we trying to add more rows or are we trying to add more columns? So Nishi, is it merge or is it append? What is new union? Is it merge or append?
Append.
It is append. That means I have 5 rows. No. So Ankit, I have 5 rows. Below that, I'm adding another 5 rows. What is a merge? A merge will be something like this, where we're adding more columns to the right or the left, right? So you notice that the options are there. What we can do on Power BI, I can do here as well, right? Remember we did the merge where we added subcategory and category. We connected customer name and customer ID like that. Similarly, we can do a merge here. We can also do a union here. A union will be an append. Just the name has changed. So you can see here that I can add multiple files with each other. All right. Now for now, life is simple. We only have one file. So you don't have to change anything. All you have to do is to click on sheet 1 at the bottom left corner. Everyone, please select sheet 1. Now, if you look on the left side, there will be all the columns from the data. So we have country, state, city, category, customer name, market, order date, region, segment, ship date, subcategory, and measures. That means all of these are text values, geography, and date. So category is ABC, that means it's a text value. Country is a globe, that means it's a geography. And order date is a calendar, that means it's a date data type. And what about discount, profit, quantity, sales? What does this hash sign mean? Anyone?
Number.
It's a number,
Quantity.
right? Everybody?
Numeric values.
Exactly. So it's a number or a numeric value. Now, ABC is text. The globe is a geography. The date is a calendar, right? So 3 types of data are here at the top, and then all the numbers are coming below this. So we will start with a very simple example. I would like all of you to double click on country. Everyone, please double click on country and tell me if you're able to see this. If it is not working, let me know and I will help you.
Working.
It's working?
Yes.
Is it not much simpler than Power BI? Like Power BI is also not very difficult, but this is even simpler and it looks so nice, right? It makes a map with 165 countries in it. How do I know that there are 165 countries? Can all of you see in the bottom left corner? I'll just make an arrow here. What does it say? 165 marks. Marks means 1 point. So 165 marks basically means that there are 165 countries that I have in the data. Right? Okay. So this is okay. This is not bad. But the question is that why is every dot the same size?
It's not representing any value.
Exactly. It is not representing any value. It is just representing what? The location. It is just telling me that, see, this is US and this is Mexico, this is Canada. That's it. There is no number that is there. And that is the reason the size is the same everywhere. So what do you think we should do logically? Do you see an option called size here? I can increase or decrease the size like this but then it is changing for all of them at the same time. That's not what I want. So I will select my sales value, okay? And how do you put it in the size? You simply drag it like this. I will drag it and put it on size. Please do this. Select your sales value and drag and drop it into the size. All good? The only problem is that right now the size is too small. So I can click on size and also increase it. And finally, on my color, I will add a border, right, like this. So take your time. What we have done is we have put sales on size, right? I have increased the size, and then on color, I have added a border here. We'll go step by step. All good? Any questions, anyone? Okay. I'll do it once again. So we are putting sales in size, right? Then I'm going to color and I'm reducing the opacity, which means that I'm making it more transparent like this. Right? You can also change the color if you want. I'll make it green because of sales values. And we have also applied a border like this. But what if you want to see the data for all the states? Like right now it is showing me the country, but maybe I want to see all the state. So I can just click on this plus sign where country is written in blue color. There is a small plus sign. And if you click on that, do you see what it is doing? It is showing you all the state and then it is showing you all the cities as well, like this. Very easy, right? Can somebody tell me what does the plus and minus sign remind you of that we did in Power BI?
To increase or decrease the size.
Drill.
Drill
The
down.
drill. Remember,
Drill.
we have the 4 arrows, so it's very similar to that. The only difference is that in Power BI, you have those 4 arrows. Here you have a plus and minus sign, but the logic remains the same. All right. Now, right now, it is showing me the entire list of countries in the world. But maybe I just want to see the countries in Asia Pacific or in Europe or in Latin America. So what we will do here is I'm going to select my market, okay? Select my market. And do all of you remember we had put, okay, let me first show it to you. Then you tell me what does it remind you of. On my market, I will right click. Please do this, everyone. On your market, right click and then say show filter. Right click and show filter. Can somebody tell me what does this remind you of from Power BI?
Slicer.
I hope all of you can see the similarities. So yes, it is a little different. In Power BI, the slicer does not come on the right side, it comes below, but broadly, the concept remains the same. Here they call it a filter. In Power BI, we call it a slicer. And the same thing will apply here. So if I select only one market, let's say Asia Pacific, it will only show me Asia Pacific. If I say Europe, it will only show me Europe, like this. right? So we'll spend time. Let's not hurry. Let's make sure we understand it properly. Any questions, anyone so far?
So I want to share my screen because I'm not getting that filter which you have got in the right corner.
Yeah,
Let me just
I
share my
hope you don't mind if I can answer that for you. The problem is I'm having a
Okay.
lot of trouble with my screen sharing due to
Okay.
some issue with my graphics card. I'll just do it once again for you. Hold on.
Okay, okay, got it.
So I'm right clicking on market and selecting show filter. That's all. Just see if that works. Or maybe you have this visualization pane open. Just hide that if you're not able to see it.
Yes, it was hiding behind that show
Yeah,
me.
right. So the show me button is basically giving you all the visuals. So you can just click on it to hide it. Great. Any other question, anyone? Okay, let me show you something very interesting. We are looking at the entire world right now, and we're also looking at the sales for each country, which is great. But what if I want to see three maps? I want to see one map for, let's say, for Africa. I want to see one map for consumer segment, one map for the corporate segment, and one for the home office segment. In Power BI, you will have to make three maps. But what I can do here is I can just put my segment in my columns like this. And it will break my one map into three maps. And you see how smoothly everything works. Power BI is also good, but it is not as smooth as working on Tableau. Right? And needless to say, if you put the category in the rows, what will happen? Now it will make 9 different maps for you. Let me reduce the size a little bit. Okay. Can somebody tell me how do we go full screen in Power BI? What is the option? What is the shortcut to do that? How do we go full screen in Power BI? We can't, right? I said that many times. You cannot present your data full screen in Power BI, but you can do that in Tableau. You just have to click on this button, right? The shortcut is F7, the presentation mode, and it will go full screen. Right? So this is a big difference between Power BI and Tableau, that Tableau can show the data full screen, but Power BI cannot show the data full screen. Right? Okay, so we will stop with this example. I want to make one more map for you. I'll just wait for 1 minute if anybody has any questions.
Sir, can you repeat like how you got 9 maps?
Sure. So what I did was I have my first map here, right? Only one map, which is showing me the data for Euro. I am selecting my segment and putting it in the columns, and then my category is coming in the rows, right? These. Just drag and drop it, right? So just drag the segment and put it in the columns, and drag the category, put it in the rows. right? Okay, any other question, anyone? Okay, let's make one more map. So please click on this small button here to create a new sheet. This one. So in Power BI, we create a new page by clicking on the plus sign, the yellow colored plus sign. Here we create a new sheet. Right? And what we want to do here is, I want to again do the same thing, double click on country, and then small difference this time, we will double click on sales as well, right? But I want to change the type of map. So on the show me button in the top right corner, select the second map, like this. This feature is also there on Power BI, but it doesn't work very well. If you want to show a filled map, then there's nothing like Tableau. Tableau does it really, really well, and it's very simple to do. Any questions, anyone? Very simple. And obviously, if you now click on the plus sign, it will show you the states as well. Okay? It cannot show you the city. So if you click on plus one more time, then the city only comes as a dot. But then at the state level, you can see it like this. Okay? And just see how nice this looks. You even have a find button here. So if you want to search for a location on the map, let's say you want to search for Delhi, we just type Delhi, and like Google Map, it will search for Delhi like this. Or let's say we're searching for India, it will search for India, right? How cool is that? This find feature and all is not there on Power BI. See, Power BI maps are very simple. Here maps are much more powerful than Power BI. So this is at the city level. Any questions, anyone?
I'm not getting colors like you in the maps.
Yeah, so just make sure sales is in the color.
Okay.
So you have to put sales in the color
Okay.
like this.
Okay, done.
All good? All right.
Yeah.
Now, okay. So far we are using the default colors that is there in Power BI, that is there in Tableau, but we can obviously change the color like we did on Power BI as well. So I will click on color, and you can see that I can edit the colors. Let me apply a border as well. So we click on edit colors, and there are many different colors available. So there are these beautiful color palettes. Watch this. You of course have a basic color, blue, orange, green, red, but then you have these orange, blue, red, green, green, blue, right? Like this. So if I select green, blue, see how it looks. It looks like this, right? And you can also obviously change it. So if you want to make it a slightly lighter shade of green, it looks like this. Right. Any questions, anyone? But the problem is that I cannot see the numbers, right? I can only see um, the colors, which is okay, but I also want to see what is the sales value, correct? So we will select our sales value, and you notice that sales is already in my color, but I also want to put sales in my label, which makes sense. Even in Power BI, we did the same thing. We put it in the data label. Here also, we are putting it in the data label. And as you can see now, you can see the number for each of the countries as well. So let me only select one market. So show filter, and I'm only going to select Africa, right? Like this. Now this looks great. So I can see Congo is high, Egypt is high, South Africa is high, Morocco is high, right? Like this. Garima, to get the number, you will have to select the sales value, drag it, and put it on top of label like this.
So since sales is already in our marks, we can directly do this by clicking label.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Sales is already in our marks column, so we can directly click label and show mark.
I don't follow. What? Just tell me,
Then
I'll do it.
now you will click label
Okay.
and then just show mark label.
Oh, sure, absolutely. See, there will be multiple ways of doing the same thing on Tableau, right? So there's no one correct way of doing it. We always want to have uniformity, right? So far we have been dragging and dropping, so we can drag and drop, right? Because if you want to put something else in that case, you will have to drag and drop. For example, if I wanted the profit, then I have no other choice but to drag and drop, right? Okay. So we have selected Africa. We have the data label, but there are different types of maps available, which I would like to show you. So if you click on map, I have some inbuilt maps, and I can even add my own maps from Mapbox, right? But let's look at the inbuilt maps first. So I have light, and then we have normal, which is like this. Look at the others. The others are very nice. And then we have dark, which is like this. This I really like because it's very high contrast. Only these countries are highlighted while everything else is black in color, right? After that, you have streets, which is similar to what you have on Power BI, but this looks a little better. The colors are very interesting. Then you have outdoors, right? And what else do we have? Then you have satellite. Satellite is basically like your Power BI map that we did, like this. But remember, maps here are very powerful. So you can look at map. If I select map layers, I can even choose what type of layers I want to show, right? So whether I want to show the country, region, border or not, the names or not, right? So this level of customizability just cannot get on Power BI, right? Right? Okay. Now, how do I add a second visualization on sheet number 2? Anyone? Like right now, we only have one visual, right? We only have a map. What if I want to add a table or a column chart or a bar chart? How do I do that? It cannot be done, right? So you have to remember that in Power BI, when you create a page, you can add multiple visualizations on that page. But when you're working on Tableau, one sheet can only have one visual, right? Like the first one, I only kept a map, 9 maps rather. In the second one also, I'm only keeping a map, right? I cannot add more visuals on one sheet. So the process is that after all the sheets are made, then we will create something called a dashboard in which I'll combine all the sheets together. This will be doing tomorrow. But for now, just remember that in Power BI, you can have multiple visualizations on one page, but in Tableau, you can only have one visual on one sheet. Okay. Right. So we'll do something different after this. If you have any questions, you can ask. All right. Let me continue then. So let's make another sheet. So sheet number 3. And we want to do the same thing once again. We want to double click on country. Let me see the question first. Can we link Tableau file in? Oh God, absolutely not. They are competitors, right? So there's absolutely no question of any connectivity between both of them. Why would they offer it, right? Because they are literally competing with each other. Right? You have integration of R and Python in both Power BI and Tableau. So even in Tableau, you can see that if I go to help and I select, one second, where has it gone? Just give me a moment. Oh, I'm sorry. I think I'm on Tableau public, so it might not be there. Let me just show you on Tableau desktop as well. Just a minute. Okay. So all of you can see this, that I have okay, we have something called analytics extension, okay, in Tableau. Analytics extension allows you to connect R and Python to Tableau. Okay? So you can see that I can connect to both R and Python. So in Python, we have something called a library called tab.py, and in R, we have a package called rserv, right? So I can connect to both of them. Just, you don't need to do this. I don't expect you to work on all this, but it's good to just keep it somewhere in the back of your mind that, oh, I can connect R and Python, the two most important programming languages for B school students, to both Power BI and to Tableau, right? So there's no difference on that front, right? Okay. So let's create a new sheet. Double click on country, everyone. Please double click on country. And make a small change. We don't want to select a map. So I will select the last visualization that I have, which is a packed bubble, right? Can somebody tell me why am I not able to click on that packed bubble right now? Like if I want to click on it, I can't do that. Why not?
Variables needs to be modified.
No, be more specific. What does it say? If I want to create a packed bubble, what is the minimum that I need? It says I need at least one dimension and one measure. How many dimensions do we have right now? 1. But do we have a measure? We don't.
No,
So
no.
I will select sales, which is a number, which is a measure. So if I double click on sales, now I can select this because I have one dimension and one measure. So when I click on this, look what happens. It creates a packed bubble chart like this. Please try this, everyone. So Yatharth, one or more, okay, not two or more. So at least one measure is required, like this. And this is so cool because if I click on country, it shows me the state and then it shows me the cities as well, like this. If you want the color, let me put sales in color as well. So you get the color here. What else can I do for you? Sales is already there in size. If I remove sales from size, then it doesn't make sense, you know. So the sales has to be in the size, like this. And this can obviously be filtered. So if I have my market filter, like we did earlier, you can see that I can select only one market at a time. So if I say Africa or APAC, it's not the best way of showing data because the problem is you can't really see the numbers for all these small ones. But then it's a very interesting way. When you're creating an infographic, then creating a packed bubble chart is very nice, right? Because people are not interested in looking at the small numbers. They're only interested in identifying the large values that you have. Any questions, anyone? All good? All right. So this looks great. And what I want to show you on this is, let me see if there's something on this we can do. How to move it over a sheet. Question is not clear. What does that mean? Nishi, you'll have to be more specific. What does that mean? How to move it over a sheet?
Sir, how to move map the whole bubble, packed bubble map over a sheet?
This one? You mean this one you want over the map?
Over a sheet, how to move towards the center or right part? Whole
As in
country,
the,
whole country, the
You
I'm
want to
just
change the position of the data. Like France is, all the data could come on the middle or the center or rightward.
no. That is not in your control. Is that what you're asking? That how can you change the order of countries?
no position of all the map.
Sir is trying to say that if you want to put France in the middle, like shift it.
Okay, hold on. Let me try to understand. Are you trying to say that this entire chart that we have created, you want to move it to the middle of your page like this?
Yes,
Is
yes.
that? I'm not quite sure. Let me see. It doesn't matter because when you are creating a dashboard, like it is not on the left right now, it's just empty space. But anyway, let me see if I can show something. Yeah, so you can just select fit with here. This one. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
All right. Great. So we've done this. Let's quickly move on and do something different now. I want to create a table which does not sound exciting, but it can be quite exciting and much simpler to work with when compared to Power BI, right? Let's see how we do that. So let's select something different this time. I will select my subcategory and I will select my market and my sales value. Everyone, please do this. The subcategory, the market, and the sales value. So you can see that if I have sales in my text, if I don't have anything in the text, it just shows me ABC. That means there is no value that we have currently. Right? So it's just like creating a table that we did on Power BI that we are doing here as well. Right? So I can put my sales in text. Do all of you remember we did conditional formatting in Power BI where we changed the color? We can do the same thing. I can put sales in color and it will come like this. Where to put the subcategory? In the rows. And the market is in the columns. Let me also change the colors a little bit. I think it's too dull right now. So we'll make the colors a little different. Let's just make it. I think that's much better. Let's just select red and green. Control Z if you want to undo, or you can also click on this left arrow here to undo. Right? Control Z will take you back and Control Y will take you forward. Can we change the background of the sheet? Not right now. If you want to change the background, you can do that when you're creating a dashboard. As of now, it will remain like this. I don't think you can change it right now. Let me still check once. I don't think so. It will not make any sense because you will have to do it when you make a dashboard. Right? So we'll have to do that tomorrow. Great. What else? See, otherwise the table works just like Excel or Power BI. For example, if I put my category before my subcategory, what will happen? It will make two levels for me. So furniture has 4, office supplies has 9, and technology has 4. So there are 17 subcategories like this. So that works very well. and there's no limit on the number of levels that you're creating. So if you put segment before this, then you get 3 levels like this. Right? Okay. Now, if we want to change this type of table into something a little different, you notice that there are 3 types of tables that we have. We have text table, which is basic. Then we have heat maps, which is like this. And then we have highlight tables. Please select the third one, everybody, the highlight tables like this. I really like this, the way the highlight table looks. Because here the colors help me understand what we're trying to do. Can we add a total? Very good question. Very strangely, it does not give you the total by default, right? Which is very odd because we would like to see the total, right? In Excel, you get the total. In Power BI, you get the total. In Tableau, you do not get the total. So if you want to get the total, you will have to go to analysis. You select totals, and then you will have to apply the totals one by one. So I will say that I want to show all the subtotals. So that is how it will show the totals, right? Once again, on analysis, now I'll say, okay, now also show me the row grand total. And finally, analysis, and show me the column grand totals like this. You'll have to do this manually. Right, everyone? So this is the option, totals. Right, any other question, anyone? So if I keep my segment in my columns, what will happen? I'll get a wider table. So I'll get basically 3 tables, right? One for consumer segment, one for corporate segment, one for home office. So it's very easy. It's not difficult. You just have to play around with the columns and the rows. Very similar to Excel and Power BI, right? But it is much easier to work with Tableau than to work with Power BI. Right? Okay. let's move on. I'm also going to name these sheets. Okay, so the thing is that I cannot save it. So you can say that the only option that you get is to save to Tableau public. You cannot save a local copy on your Excel. That is what I told you earlier, right? That you will not be able to save it on your computer. You can only save it to Tableau public. So I would request if all of you can do this, please. Save to Tableau public. I'm also going to do the same thing. It might ask you for a sign in. If you haven't created an account, please do that right now. I will also sign in quickly. Don't remember the password for public. Let's see if it works. So when you're publishing, it gives you a message saying that you're going to save it online. Make sure there is no confidential data in it, right? And once you save it on Tableau public, it will open on Tableau public like this. Exactly the same thing, you know, the slicer, filter, everything works, right? Right? As you can see, everything is working the same way that we were doing it on the Tableau public on our computer. You can also move between the different pages. So I can move from one page. Actually, I'm not quite sure how to move from one page to the other. I'm sorry, I don't use Tableau public a lot. So I will also have to, that's strange. Give me a moment. Okay, for the life of me, okay, here are the sheets. In the top left corner, you can see the sheets as well, and everything works the same way. And this link that you have, you can now share this link with other people freely. Right? You just click on this link and you can send it to other people. So let's say you're working on a college project or you're doing an internship. You have created a dashboard. How do you share it with others? Just share this link with them. This link will also become a part of your portfolio. So when you're creating your resume, you can just add these different links that are there. And that is an excellent way of making your profile look a lot better, you know, than a normal profile.
Sir, I'm only able to see sheet 4.
You're only able to see what?
Sheet 4 and not the all sheet.
Yeah, so you'll have to go to settings and you will have to say show all the sheets. Right? Otherwise, it only shows you one sheet. Right? Great. So good. We have done the publishing. Like this is something I had created with the same data sometime back. So here I have a tooltip, which we'll be doing tomorrow. As actually we can do it even today. Let's see. So we have the tooltip. I have a dashboard. The different charts are connected to each other. So if I select one state, you notice that everything is changing, right? So how to create a dashboard, that we'll be doing tomorrow, but you get the idea. It's very similar to how we work on Power BI. All right, let's come back. So we have created a we've created our 9 maps. Then we have created our filled map. Then I have my packed bubble. And after that, we have our heat map, which is nothing but a table. Right? And we'll do something different now. So the next thing I want to show you is a column chart. Everyone, please create a column chart. Again, very simple. We will select our market, segment, sales value. So double click, double click, double click, and then select this one, the stacked column chart, the stacked bar rather. So you can even do it like this. You can put market in columns, sales in the rows, and segment in the color, right? Like this. So sales is in the color, then market is in the column, and then segment is in the rows, right? So you get this, just a basic heat map, but you can then make it into a column or a bar chart like this. Just make this and get comfortable with this, everyone. Something I was trying to find. Yeah, that's okay.
So don't we have a legend in the Tableau?
That's a very good point. I'm just trying to remember. The legend should be, yeah, is there on the right side? Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, if you want to show the sales value, you can put it in the label and you can see the sales value like this. Give me just 1 minute, everyone. All right. What's the question? Can I please repeat? Sure. So let me remove everything. By the way, if you would like to clear the space, if you would like to remove everything and make a new sheet, as in clear the sheet, you can click on this button, this one. Right? Alt Shift Backspace, right? This will cancel everything from the sheet. So let's do it once again. So I'm going to select my segment in rows. I will select my sales in the text, right? And I will select my market in the columns like this. It makes a table, but after you make these three things, you will select a bar chart on the right side, stack bar, right? Like this. That's all. So what will happen actually is that when you make a bar chart, the sales will come in the rows, the market will come in the column, and the segment will come in the color, which makes sense, no? Because if I remove the sales, it just shows me market and nothing, because there's nothing to break it with like this. If I remove the segment, then I only get 1 bar. But if I keep the segment, I get 4 bars.
How to increase the size of this bar chart by dragging some?
Yeah, so if you want to increase the size, you will have to just drag it like this.
Okay.
Right? There's an arrow that comes in. Just use that. There are some keyboard shortcuts as well, but then it will be too much to remember. So that's why I'm not telling you right now. But this is the easy way of doing it. Can we put a border and a shadow? Oh, like Power BI? No, you can't. Yeah, that's not possible. When we create a dashboard tomorrow, right now we are only creating one visual. When we create a dashboard, maybe at that time we can do something, but it is not the same way that we do it on Power BI. Power BI makes that process much simpler, right? We don't have that option here. No, we can't add multiple visualizations in one sheet. One sheet will only be one visual. Whether it is a simple or a complex visual, it doesn't matter. There's only one visual that is allowed. And after you make, like, how many sheets do we have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. After I have made 5 sheets, then I will combine everything into a dashboard so that they come together. But at the moment, we can't do more than one in one sheet. It's not possible.
If we go for the pie chart, we have to select these things again.
Make a pie chart. So if you want to make a pie chart, let's say market, segment, sales, and just select a pie. See, the pie doesn't even need so many things. No, I just select the market. So market is in my color. It should be like this. Okay, like this. Let me put the sales in my label as well. Same process, what we have done. If you want to make 3 pie charts, let's say for 3 segments, I can put segment in my columns. It will make 3 pie charts for me. Right, like this.
If we put something in the rows, then
it will make more pie charts. So if you put category, there are 3 categories, correct? So if you put category in the rows, you will get 9 pie charts.
okay, it will increase the number of pie charts.
Exactly. And do you see how simple it is to do all this? Like when you show this to somebody, they will think, oh my God, you have spent so much time and effort to make 9 different pie charts and then align everything. But the truth is that it was very simple. We just had to put it in column and rows. That's all. Great. Any questions, anyone? So we have done maps, we have done the filled map, we have done the packed bubble, we have done the heat map, we have done the column chart, right? And the pie. Let's do something which we haven't done so far. This is called a tree map. Okay, let me first show it to you. Then I'll give you time to practice. So segment and category and sales. And I will make this into a tree map like this. Please try this, everyone. I'll tell you how to do it. First, put the segment in rows and the category in columns. The segment is in rows and the category is in columns. Right? And once you've done this, category is in the columns, segment is in the rows, and sales is in the text. You can just convert this into a tree map. And this is much better than a pie chart. Pie is also not bad, but a tree map will always be much better suited for this. Right now, there is no label, so you can also put the sales in label if you want to see the number. In fact, you can even put other things in the label. I can also put profit in the label and I can put quantity in the label. Right? So it gives me all the details that we want. So it is telling me all the combinations that we want right now. And if you keep one more thing, let's say the subcategory, it will look like this. It doesn't look bad at all. Just take some time. Don't do it in a hurry. Try this out, please. I'm removing all these other things. It's getting too complicated right now. I think sales and profit is okay. Any questions, anyone? So tell me, so far, what do you think? Do you like Tableau? Do you find it more easy than Power BI or do you find it more difficult?
Tableau is easy than Power BI.
Right? But keep in mind that Power BI has many more things in it. Power Query, writing formulas. You can do it in Tableau as well. See, most of the basic things that a business wants, they are the same. There is no difference. Power BI and Tableau are exactly the same. The process is a little different. Power BI has its own strengths. Tableau has its own strengths. Right? But for all these basic charts and all, they're more or less the same. But also keep in mind, most of you are thinking it is easier, but that is because you have already learned Power BI. You know, if you were probably doing it for the first time, then you would have found this difficult as well, right? But since you've already spent 1 week on Power BI, now it might be easier for you. Great. Any questions, anyone? Why is it called a tree map? It's just called a tree map. There's no reason for it. So if you just do a Google search, it's called a tree map. I'm not sure why the name is a tree map, but yeah. So tree mapping is a method for displaying hierarchical data using nested figures, rectangles. It's called a tree structure because it's sort of like a tree structure, you know, like a flow chart where there are different branches. Yeah, so I think that's why it's called a tree map. Great. This is one of the most popular visuals used in reports, and you will find this very commonly used, right, by different firms.
Sir, if we don't use label in the tree map, then what will it show?
Which label?
It will not show any numbers.
They will just show.
If you remove the label.
They will only show this. No, you mean, should I remove these two labels as well?
No. The label number, the label count. Basically.
Yeah, so it will just show this value. See how, okay, why is consumer bigger than corporate? How does it know?
Because the sales value is bigger.
Because sales is in the size, correct? If I remove sales from size, then it doesn't know what to do. Something has to be there in the size, right? How do I know which rectangle will be larger and which rectangle will be smaller? So something will have to be there in the size. The label is optional, whether you want to show it or not.
Okay, thank you.
Sales and profit. And obviously, I'm not messing around with the colors and all, but you can all remember that there are excellent ways of doing this. So you can be creative and try different options. You can even put your own colors. So there's nothing right or wrong here. It is up to you how you want to present this. Great. So tomorrow I want to do some calculations with you. I want to show you how the tooltip works in Tableau. And I also want to cover animations for you, right? So I just want to finish the basic topics today. So let me quickly see if there's anything important that I have left out. Okay, there's one thing we haven't done, which is my date, right? Please double click on the order date and the sales value and convert this into an area chart like this. Let's do it step by step. Order date is in columns. Sales is in text. First start with this. So the order date is in the columns and sales is in the text. And once you have done that, convert this into an area or a line chart, any one that you want. So let us select something different. So let me select an area chart like this. I hope all of you are able to see this. How will a line chart look? Like a line. If you want to color the area under the line, then you will select a area chart. Okay, can somebody tell me that right now it is showing me the years, but what if I want to see the year and the quarter? What should we do?
So we will click on the
Filter.
plus sign on the date.
Right, so it's very intuitive. Like in Power BI, we have those arrows. Here we are clicking on the plus sign. So if you show me the quarter, but how do I go back to the year now? Because see, if I click on plus, it will take me to the month now. So how do I go back to the year? This is where a lot of people get confused. They say in Power BI, when you click the down arrow, how do you go up? You press the up arrow. But here you don't have the up arrow. So what you will have to do, if you want to go back to the year, you will have to right click. It has selected the quarter, so you will have to select the year like this. It is the same thing, it's just that the steps are a little different, right? So I can go from year to quarter to month like this. Okay, please do this, everyone. Go to the month. And remember, it could be line chart as well. In fact, let's select an area. An area looks much nicer. I'll also color it something different like this. And finally, we want to keep segment in rows and just see how beautiful this looks. I mean, it looks very nice. It's very simple to make. Plus, it is very, very meaningful because it is telling you exactly what we want. It is telling you from that consumer is the largest segment, and it tells you the seasonality factor. It tells you the same for corporate and home office like this. Okay. You can also keep the sales in label if you want to see the sales value.
Would I share my screen? Mine is quite different of you.
See, sharing will be a problem, but I'll help you. Just tell me what we have done so far. So first I selected the order date in the columns. I made it into the month. I put the sales in rows and I selected my area chart, right? After I've done that, I'm just putting my segment in my rows like this. Is this not what you're seeing?
This is okay, but I'm trying. I'll let you know
Yeah.
once I've done with it.
There are
Okay,
two options for month and quarter when we right click. Yeah, so Yatha, that is like the double arrow that you had. That means that if you only want to see the data aggregated for all the months, right now it is showing me the data for all the years, right? But if you want to see the data for all the months grouped together, aggregated together, then you can select the first month. So can somebody tell me what does this 3.86 lakh mean for March?
Sales for the March.
For the month of March, for which year?
For every year.
For all the
All
years
year.
combined. Makes sense? So this is the difference between the month here and the month here. Okay. The
I
first
did.
month will show you all the months together. The second month will show you the month for every year separately. Yeah. Tell me. Right, everyone? See, obviously Tableau is a very wide tool. We are doing it from a very high level, but if you go through it in detail, you see there are many other things. Some of these I'll be doing tomorrow, but it is not possible to cover everything. Right? Even I don't know everything. Like in sales, you can see that there are even calculations that I can do, which we haven't done so far, but I'll be introducing the calculations tomorrow. For example, running total, which is very useful if you want to see the lifetime sales like this. Okay? We'll do a few of these options tomorrow, but that doesn't mean that in 2 days you will learn everything. In my course that is there on Teachable, I have covered many more topics in Tableau, but even that is not enough. Tableau has been around since 2003, right? So you can imagine how long it has been there, right? So if a tool has been there for 17, 18 years, imagine how many things people might have done with it. Okay, so we will stop today at this point. I want to show you a few other dashboards. Please save your work. I don't want your work to go wasted. So please make sure to save it. So I'll go back to File and save it on Tableau Public. And as you can see, we have the entire dashboard. And the best part is that right now, if you want to share your work with other people, you can just click on the share button and that's it. Just share the link with them. Just copy this link and just send it to them and they can open it on their computer. How cool is that? Okay. For example, I'm sharing my link with all of you on the chat window, and I want you to see that all of you will be able to open this.
Hello.
Tell me.
So I want to ask that how to get this data segment wise for a particular year, like for like drill down we are doing in the Power BI.
You want to see the data only for 1 year.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Apply a
Yes.
filter. So you select the order date, right? And you show it as a filter. It will show you all the years. You just select the 1 year that you want.
Okay.
Can we share Power BI data like Tableau? No. It's very interesting, but in Power BI, if you want to share your data, your work with somebody, you need to have a paid account. With a free account, it will not. I mean, it is possible, but then you need to have a college ID if you want to do that. Okay? But the process remains the same. You just click on share. There is a link. You can share it with other people. So let me say that once again. You can share your work on Power BI as well, exactly how you're doing it on Tableau. But if you want to share it on Power BI, first you need to log in. And to log in and create an account, you need to have a organization or a college account, which I assume you guys don't have yet. Once you have that, then you'll be able to do the same thing with Power BI as well. We have Tableau server. So this is called Tableau Public, which is the online service. Similarly, we have a Power BI service, exactly similar to this, right? Great. Any other
Like
question?
whenever we add
Yeah.
a new sheet, so like will it automatically get updated or every time we need to save that work?
You have to save that work. You have to save that every time. Every time you make a change, right, you will have to change it. Absolutely. For example, if I change the color now, this report has not got updated online, right? So after you complete everything and you're happy with the work that you have done, before you close the file, you have to make sure to update it on the internet.
Okay, sir.
But it is just like a control S. So basically, like you do a control S on Excel, you do a control S here as well, right? Same thing. But this file doesn't exist on your computer. That is what I'm trying to tell you, right? So if I close it, okay, and I say, yes, I do want to save the changes. Save. Right. You can see that Power BI Tableau is closed on my computer. I don't have anything open. In fact, let me close everything. I have everything closed. Now, how do you open it? You will open Tableau Public once again. So Tableau Public. You will open Tableau Public. It will show you the file, but this file is not there on your computer. It is there on the cloud. But you can simply double click on it and it will open it, right? So there is no problem as such. The only problem is that your data is not confidential. How does that matter? As it is, we are learning and we are creating our work to share it with other people. For an organization, it is a problem because you can't share confidential data with everybody on the internet. You guys are working on sample data, so that would not be a problem at all. Right? So Tableau Public will do everything for you. There, like I said, there are a few other differences between the full version and Tableau Public, but yeah, I mean, all of what you guys require right now, you can do in Tableau Public as well. Right. Great. I think we've done quite a lot for today. I was in fact expecting we'll do a little less. So we have done the maps. We have done the filled map. We have applied the filter. We have the packed bubble. We have the heat map table. We have the column chart. We have the pie chart. We have the tree map, and we have the area chart. Tomorrow, I will show you how to do calculations. I will show you how to create a calculated field, how to create a parameter to make your charts dynamic. I will also tell you how to create animations, and finally, how to create a dashboard. You know, we want to create one page which has all the visualizations in it. Like right now, they're all in different sheets. We want to bring everything together, right? So that's the plan for tomorrow. Right. That's all from my side. If you have any questions, you can ask me. Thank you, Puneet. Anyone else? Any questions?
Thank you.
So great. Thank you, everyone. I will see you tomorrow at the same time. The same file we'll be working on, right? I'll also give you some other examples of ready-made reports that are available that will teach you how to create different types of dashboards. Right? Great. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.